I want to quickly touch upon the concept of measuring up. This is something I've seen play out a lot with myself lately, and that is when I feel I am not measuring up to my own expectations, I want to hide. I want to do anything but think about the things that I want to do, because it's painful to not measure up to what you're asking of yourself. It's painful for myself to say, okay, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to do. And when I find myself not acting in accordance with that, it's painful to face that, and I find myself wanting to hide, wanting to eat food or take on something that's distracting enough to take my mind off it. And I came to this realization that I need to get different expectations for myself, because obviously I don't expect myself to be feeling great all the time. I expect myself to be feeling great more and more of the time and to get better and better at it, but obviously there's still going to be down times, and especially when I'm exposing myself to new contrast, which is something that this whole thing is about, then I'm going to have down periods, and I need to craft different expectations for myself when I'm in a down period than when I'm in an up period, because otherwise it's like the mood that I'm in determines how well I think I'm doing. When I'm in a good mood, I think I'm doing great, regardless of whether or not I'm actually doing anything with that good mood. And when I'm in a bad mood, I think I'm doing terrible, regardless of the fact that when I'm in those down points, I'm actually doing a lot of good, in the sense that I'm getting clear about what I really want, and I'm just those down times that create the sparks of desire that carry me in the up times. And by creating different standards for up times and down times, then I free myself up to get more out of my up times and more out of my down times. It's not just some flat rate of this is what I expect from myself at all times. It's starting to take into account that, hey, I have moods, and I operate on a curvature, and there are going to be, and I'm only able to do certain things from certain emotional set points. And by taking that into consideration and more intelligently crafting my expectations for myself, I will then be able to better leverage myself in terms of getting myself to do things that I want done, and getting myself to think through the things that I want to think through, and all that business with a much greater effectiveness, because I'm taking into account where I'm coming from, not just where I expect myself to be.